Good evening, folks. This is Mrs. Midnight with my little midnight stream, Dead After Dark, and we are going to be talking about quite a few things. But first of all, I would like to talk about what happened to me today. And what happened to me today is that I got caught literally in the middle of a fucking bomb threat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's just gentlemen, actually, currently in the chat. I sometimes go out to the burbs to help a friend of mine with HR stuff since she doesn't have, she's not making enough money from her business to be hiring a full-time HR/office person. She hires me as a freelancer. So I was heading out there on the 10 o'clock train, and I go and I get into the station, and I notice there's a lot of police in the station. I don't really think much about it because of the previous happenings in LA. I thought maybe they just stepped up security or something, and I go and I notice that they're clearing out the little waiting area by the second floor tracks, which I'm like, okay, confusing, but I walk past 4 police officers that don't stop me or anything, and I board my train. About 10 minutes after I board said train, a message comes on over the PA that's telling us all to get off the train and leave the station. I'm confused as fuck, but, you know, they told me to leave the station, so I'm going to leave the station. And through one part being a nosy asshole and 2 parts eavesdropping the news vans that then showed up, I learned that an unidentified piece of luggage was left on the second floor concourse of the train station. Apparently, the guy walked up with his briefcase, told somebody from the rail yard that he didn't want it anymore, set it down, and walked the fuck away. This person found that strange, and they called the police. Now, there's a rumor going around that some crazy asshole from Joliet called in a bomb threat. Not quite sure that that's true yet, but that's basically what I dealt with this morning. Ended with me standing outside for 2 hours trying to figure out what the fuck was going on and being a general nosy fuck before going home for the day. Which kind of sucks. Would have been nice to have had that money. Even vampires need to pay rent. Anywho, that was my morning. The thing that I was confused about this whole situation, if they had a bomb threat and they thought that there was some sort of threat to the general public, a threat in the rail yard itself, on the platforms, not the rail yard. God, no, I'm not just walking into the fucking rail yard at Ogilvy. In the platforms themselves, why was I able to walk past those 3 or 4 police officers and board the train in the first place? You think they would have stopped me? It wasn't just me. There was a few people on that train that got off with me. So that's a bit of a fucking frustrating thing to think about. They just let us stroll right into the place where there's an unknown package sitting near the tracks. La-di-da, like nothing the fuck is going on. Now, the more I think about it, that's kind of fucking scary. So, that was my morning, and hello, everybody. Hello, Ghost Dog. Hello, Wikipedia Snippet. Hey, Moxley. Hey, MC. MC, it's been a while since I've seen you. Good to have you here. But yes, before we get into the unpleasantness that is the Mark Waid situation, I thought I'd talk about something funny. But first, we're going to watch a little bit of a video, and that's going to be the Hereditary trailer, which a lot of folks are actually saying is going to be the Exorcist of our time. Some high fucking praise for a possession movie. There's not been very many decent possession movies in the last few years, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. Finally looking forward to some demon movie that's gonna scare the piss out of me. So let's watch that trailer first.
Come on, Peter.
We got the trailer. Yeah.
It's heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious. My mother was a very secretive and private woman. It's Grandma. You know you were her favorite, right? Even when you were a little baby, she wouldn't let me feed you because she needed to feed you. She was a very difficult woman, which maybe explains me.
I recognize you from your mother.
What?
Sometimes I swear I can feel them in the room.
Oh my God, what's that?
She isn't gone.
She had private rituals, private friends.
Who's gonna take care of me?
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
But when you die.
And she wasn't altogether there. At the end.
I don't like this. Dad, I don't like this.
What's happening? Peter! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Please stop! Mom, what's happening? Make it stop! Make it stop!
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Awesome. Well, that was the trailer for Hereditary. I actually, so far, think it looks really fucking good. There is a lot of great imagery in there. It looks like there's a lot of attention to the little details and some really great post-production in terms of the overall quality of the movie. Yeah, it looks like a really terrifying, awesome horror movie. A really great possession movie, which, like I said, I haven't been impressed with a lot of them lately. So here's where the fun part comes in. Let me pull up the article really quick. Recently in Australia, there was a showing of Peter Rabbit, the kids movie. Nice, happy, fluffy bunnies, you know, Mr. McGregor's garden and all that shit. So families sat down to watch the trailers, thinking to be more trailers for kids' movies. But unfortunately, the projectionist played the wrong trailer, and instead, they played the trailer that we just saw. So, a whole theater full of children essentially saw what was one of the most frightening looking possession movies that I've seen in a good long while. Apparently everybody got a ticket for a free movie. Yes, and then it turned into Watership Down. That actually happened as well. Here in Chicago, actually, there was one of those local, channel 2 or 3 that for Easter, somebody basically just Googled movies about bunnies and didn't actually research what Watership Down was, and ended up playing it in its entirety to on Easter Sunday to a bunch of children. But yes, Hereditary looks amazing. And I'm looking forward. It's going to be out in June, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about dates before. I'm terrible with dates. Apparently, the projectionist did not get fired because it was lack of training on her part, and she did not know how to turn it off. So they're not blaming the projectionist, but everybody gets to see a free movie. So, what else do I have? What else do I have before we invite people in and talk about the Mark Waid situation? Yes, we also have, so we can go from Easter to Christmas. And this is a trailer release for a random movie that I found called Sick for Toys. This is their first trailer for this movie, and let me check the release date for this while the trailer plays. I've already seen it, so just tell me when it's over.
I'm glad you called me back.
What's going on? Everything okay?
This is gonna sound crazy. It's Jason. I haven't heard from him since yesterday morning. Could you try to call him for me?
I doubt he's going to pick up my phone call. I'll just go straight to his place. Jason! You in there? Nothing's out of place. His computer was still there.
What about his car?
That wasn't there. My name's Roy. I think you know my friend Jason.
We were supposed to go on a date the other day, but he blew me off.
Are you Roy? I love decorating. Stringing up the lights, hanging the wreaths, and you should come over for dinner tonight.
Tonight?
6:30.
We have a guest coming tonight. I don't want to have to gag you.
Hello? The house is over here. I thought I heard something. Thought maybe Amelia was in there.
She's inside.
I just thought he might want to play with my Christmas present.
I just want to go home. As long as I give him medicine, you'll be able to play with him a while longer.
Did you take your medicine?
All right, awesome. See, this one doesn't look, I mean, most trailers don't look as good as Hereditary's did, but I feel like it might be actually kind of promising. This one's actually going to be coming out in October, not December, so you'll be having a little bit of Christmas for Halloween, which is never a bad thing. We all love Nightmare Before Christmas, at least I know I do. And where was I going with that? Oh, the effects are not great. It looks like they're a little bit cheap and hokey, but not in a terribly bad way, more in just a B-movie type of way. And from what I can see from the trailer, the actress actually looks like she's pretty competent. So this could be a decent movie, granted that it has good writing. In addition, they have some interesting cinematography choices that I think look interesting too. It's very going back to the root of horror rather than using a bunch of cheap CGI tricks. They're using a lot of practical effects, and I'm a huge fan of practical effects. It's just that little bit of extra care you put into a movie. You just gotta get that bucket of pig's blood to really make people believe it. But yeah, it looks very gory. I think it's going to be more of an exploitation film, so if that's your bag, this could be a fun little bit of Christmas in October for you. Early Christmas gift. Or maybe early coal in your stocking if it sucks, I don't know. There's really not many critics looking at this yet, just the one that I see in IMDb. And it's a pretty useless review, so I thought maybe I'd make y'all notice, give y'all notice of that movie. Something else to look out for from the B-movie universe. if you like your exploitation. Again. Hello, Dylan. Nice to see you. Yeah, I hear about a lot of movies that most folks don't hear about because I follow a lot of the horror movie blogs and I end up watching them. 90% of the time, the horror B movies are forgettable. I would actually rather watch a horror movie that's trash than one that's forgettable, because at least if it's trash, I can make fun of it. You can just poke all the fun at a really, really bad, hokey, campy, terrible movie, because they end up funny. They end up funny instead of scary. And there's nothing wrong with being a funny horror film. The Evil Dead proves this. What's worse is being a fucking forgettable horror film. I gave you an example, but I can't remember any. That was a terrible joke. Okay, I'm just going to use that as a segue. If anybody would like to come on in, I'd like to discuss the Mark Waid situation. Yes, Dylan, good afternoon, not good night. I need more Australian fans. If you're not on my Discord, let me know so I can send you a link. Or I can just put the Discord link in here and not be a dipshit. But, Race, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Freedom!
Freedom?
Yeah.
Oh, freedom from the fucking train station. No, I was technically free to leave. I was hoping that they'd clear everything up so I could actually get on the fucking train. I'm glad I'm not monetized.
No, instead
if I were, I would have just lost it.
Yeah, instead we got the Zazzle store. Be sure to pick up some pins and some shirts and some playing cards, folks.
I have nude playing cards and not nude playing cards that have a really cool geometric design on the back.
Which is part of the slideshow up there in the corner. If you wait long enough, you'll see it.
Yes. Yes, yes. I actually quite like the Zippo lighter. I think that's got to be my favorite.
Eventually, we'll get that Thorn body pillow. I know you all want.
Yep. I needs the monies for the commission because I don't draw, so I'll need that. Yeah. Hey, Radio Freedom. How you doing? If you'd all do me a favor, I would love it if you'd retweet the stream, especially Dylan, because he actually exists in a part of the world where people are awake right now.
Radio Freedom says, "You said freedom, here I am." Yeah, I said freedom because Thorn finally let me out of the cage.
I just want to do that thing where I just talk to the chat for half an hour. Unfortunately, there's 7 people in the chat, and everybody was saying hello to each other for like 10 minutes. That's okay. I love you guys.
It's like, hello, 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 hello. It's like when they say, doctor, 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 doctor.
Yes, hello, 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 hello. This is why when I'm usually in chats, I just say, hello, everybody.
Yeah, is there an echo in the chat?
But yes, I literally just had the term that I was talking about, and of course I didn't write it down. But does anyone want to come in? What do you
give us some hot tips on some politics-free comic books you might know about.
You first. You're the one that has the company.
Right. Well, I meant to anyone in chat if they got any hot tips, if they got anything, they can come on in and tell us about it, or tell us in chat. But yeah, I do actually own a comic book company called Lynchpin Comics. It's still very young. We're still working out the finer details of the comic books themselves. But we got a lot of pretty talented writers, and we're getting some good artists on. The one I'm writing is called Law of the Claw. And the basic blurb is, after a man's fiance gets killed by a young gang of Muslims, he makes a deal with a demon to become a hellhound so he can get vengeance. And a hellhound is basically a fire-breathing werewolf. So needless to say, it's fucking awesome.
They're not invisible like the ones in Supernatural?
No, not the invisible supernatural hellhounds. It's like it's far more badass. It's a very 90s sort of a feel this comic has.
Yeah, that's a very 90s thing. It's like fire-breathing dog. Nothing wrong with that. I was trying to make a joke and failing.
And one of the other writers has a more comedy-oriented one, because that other one that I was talking about, Law of the Claw, that's more of a very Spawn-esque tone to it. Whereas
I
the
love
other
Spawn. Oh, that's what you mean by 90s. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Spawn is a very 90s comic. Very, very 90s. It's like, no, we can go bleaker. It must be as dark and tortured as it can possibly get. Like me when I was in high school. Yeah, Radio Freedom immediately thought of Supernatural when he heard Hellhound too.
Yeah, because that's the most recent pop culture depiction of a hellhound. Mine is going to be a lot more old school, more fire and brimstone, less airy fairy stuff.
Oh, there's nothing fairy about it. I guess that is kind of fairy, like an invisible creature.
An invisible Rottweiler, basically. That's what a hellhound in Supernatural is.
Oh yeah.
Which, invisibility is cool and all, but breathing fire, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And bleeding lava, that's another thing.
Fun. Ghost Dog is asking what is with Mark Waid? Or are you asking who is Mark Waid? Or what is going on with Mark Waid? Because I can answer both questions. As soon as I pull up my bullet points.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm going to mention the opposite end of the spectrum that we have. There's one of the other writers is working on a story that's basically like a Canadian Popeye. Except instead of being a sailor, he's a lumberjack, and instead of spinach, it's maple syrup, because of course it is.
Nice.
Yeah, he is Canadian, so it's cool. It's going to be a very, very Canadian comic book superhero.
So basically he's going, how Canadian can we get?
Yep.
Radio Freedom says he mentioned Spawn the other day when someone was saying there were no black superheroes. What? Mr. Miracle, Spawn, Blade, fucking Black Lightning, fucking Brother Voodoo, Black Panther. No black superheroes. Shut up.
How about Storm?
I know so many.
Storm,
Luke Cage. Do I need to keep going? Alternate universe Spider-Man? Like, come on now. Well, Miles Morales is technically mixed, but still. So Mark Waid. Mark Waid is a comic book writer for Marvel, Ghost Dog. And he recently engaged in what would you call it? A campaign of misinformation against diversity in comics, which caused his very, very, very well-funded comic book GoFundMe to get dropped by their publisher, Antarctic Comics. And I think Mark Waid's tweets are still now protected, and I'm fairly sure that Marvel Comics is going to come down on him like a fucking hammer, because he actually opened them up for a lawsuit. And he opened himself up for a lawsuit as well. The lawsuits that he can have brought against himself is tortious interference is the big one. Tortious interference, it's in the common law of torts. It occurs when one person intentionally damages someone else's contractual or business relationships with a third party, i.e. Antarctic Press, causing economic harm, i.e. loss of revenue from being published with Antarctic Press. Now, Diversity in Comics' whole response to this is not only filing a lawsuit, he has filed a lawsuit, but also he's starting his own publishing company called Splato Comics, so he can self-publish his comic Jawbreakers, which admittedly actually looks really good.
You should have done that from the jump.
He really should have done that from the jump. That would have been... I would have actually given a GoFundMe to start the publishing company. That would have been that is a great GoFundMe. Like, he could still do that. I mean, he has, what, $250K to play with now? Like, he got a lot of money.
And you don't even need that much money to start a company.
Oh no. He could probably, with that much money, he could probably fund the publishing of maybe 3 comics. Static Shock. Yes, thank you, Radio Freedom.
We're gonna see a Jawbreakers adaptation in 10 years. Watch.
Oh my god, yes. I'm already looking forward to Jawbreakers. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for earlier, by the way. It was tortious interference. Yeah. This is intentional, and it's intentional tortious interference, not neglectful tortious interference, because I guess there's 2 different fucking things. Also defamation. But the one that could potentially get Marvel in trouble is an antitrust law. So there's this thing called the Sherman Act that basically says that a larger company cannot damage the business of another company by going directly against them through things such as, defamation, libel, and basically cut into their business in order to eliminate the competition. It's basically a law against monopolies. And Mark Waid may have done just that. Because I think he actually invoked the name of Marvel a few times, and they probably should have said something sooner. That's going to hurt them a lot. I really don't think anything against Marvel is going to stick, though. What do you think?
It's entirely possible, but let's take this further. Let's say he wins and Marvel gets fucked. You know what that means? No more Marvel comics and no more Marvel movies. Yeah. Just give it a few years. It's gonna get tapped out, and that's gonna be the end. Which I would actually be entirely okay with, because fuck Marvel basically. And other companies are going to pop up. Other comic books are going to take their place. We're always going to have comics. We just won't have Marvel comics, which sucks. But
it sucks so much for me.
Yeah, empires rise and fall every day. Marvel wasn't going to last forever.
No, but there's so many characters that I grew up with that I love so much. They're just going to be gone, and it's all because of fucking Mark Waid.
And this is all I have to say about Mark Waid at that point. Eat it.
Oh, yeah, Marvel's owned by Disney. He is about to just get absolutely, totally, completely fucked.
Yeah, even if diversity in comics doesn't make it happen, Disney sure as hell will.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think he's ever going to work again. Which is a shame. He's actually a good writer. Or he actually was a good writer before he went, whole hog SJW. Yeah, he's not just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
how the mighty hath fallen. He wrote Kingdom Come. Remember that,
yes,
folks.
He did. And Superman Birthright. What else? He's wrote Daredevil. He's wrote Captain America. He's wrote Fantastic Four.
I have been hearing that the Mark Waid run of Daredevil has been actually kind of ass. So,
it is ass. Was ass? I don't know if it's been canceled yet. Marvel's had a lot of books that only have like 4 runs and have been getting canceled, so I would have to check to see if it's actually still running. Well, at least America's gone.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. Have you ever actually read that comic?
No, but I've heard enough about it. I don't need to.
I found some scans. You don't really understand the level of fucking cancer until you actually read it. They turned a character that was actually pretty interesting into absolute fucking trash. She was actually an established character before this came around, and they ruined her. No one's ever going to write her.
Are you shocked?
I'm more pissed than shocked. Slander is spoken defamation, whereas libel is defamation in writing. I think it was a little of both.
Yeah, it just depends on where it happened. Like, yeah, there's the obvious Twitter one, so that at the very least you have libel, or libel, whatever the fuck, however it's pronounced.
Libel.
Now, if he did it in public on video, and there's a video evidence of it, then yeah, that would be slander also on top of that. So you have two counts of defamation. From
what I understand, defamation can also be written.
Yeah, defamation is either or. It's libel or slander. That's just specific types of defamation.
Yes, they're both under defamation, so I'm not sure if you ever made a video or not. There's a couple people going against him. Apparently there's a CEO of this t-shirt company that also participated. He should also go after him. Just hit everybody. Just hit everybody. Diversity in comics. Just fuck shit up.
Pretty sure there'd have to be multiple lawsuits. You can't just group people in together like that.
Oh yeah, no, it would have to be separate lawsuits. He's probably gonna go after Waid first and then work on the rest of them. Because they weren't nearly as toxic. If you want to look more into the whole legal situation, you can, there is a lawyer called Nick Rekieta. It's Nick, Rekieta, who made a whole video on the Diversity in Comics lawsuit. He also made one on the Count Dankula case, if you're interested, but that's a little older.
Ghost Dog 99 says he will probably unofficial blackballed. I think you mean blacklisted, and absolutely he will be black. His career is dead.
He's persona non grata. But yeah, he actually, this lawyer actually interviewed Diversity in Comics about the case. So that's real interesting if you're interested in legal stuff. I'm kind of interested in legal stuff up until the point that I fall asleep.
Isn't that everybody?
Uh-huh. The lawyers have tons of work. They're going to have to find the actual social media posts because all of Mark Waid's social media right now is in complete and total lockdown. Because he's either because Marvel told him to or because he's a coward. I'm not sure. Probably because Marvel told him to.
I believe that's under the cover your own ass policy in the contract.
Oh yeah. There's no way that they didn't know about this either. So shame on you, Marvel. There's been a lot of shame on you, Marvels, but this is big. This is worse than writing bad comics. This is actively, and this hurt Antarctic Press too, because this probably was one of the better things that they would have put out, because I'd never heard of them before this.
Dumping Diversity in Comics would have been it was a bad business move, but they were fucked either way. It's either keep them on and get shit on by Marvel, or get rid of him and be shit on by the fans. He was fucked. Our Antarctic Press was fucked.
Yeah. They are the guys that do the My Hero Macadamia, that little fake manga Trump thing. So that's like their biggest thing right now. They're not a big publisher.
If that's the kind of stuff they do, why would just a standard comic book? I mean, yeah, it's Diversity in Comics, but I mean, it's what he's doing is mild compared to the other shit. I'm surprised nobody's tried to go after them yet already with that kind of shit.
Well, most of their stuff looks fairly standard too. Like, it's a little bit more on the manga side, but it still looks like kind of standard comics, except for My Hero Macadamia.
Wikipedia snippet says losing your marvels. Yep, that's exactly what Mark Waid did.
I don't really blame Antarctic Press for this. Not every ship is designed to weather a hurricane. That's what they were facing, basically.
Yeah,
just a hurricane of shit.
Yeah, and to be fair, with the My Hero Macadamia stuff, yeah, they may have been getting shit for it, but it's shit from SJWs, not from established companies. So yeah, this was the first major shitstorm that they had to go through, and yeah, they were fucked no matter which way it was gonna go, no matter what they did. Damned if they did, damned if they didn't.
Because they must have caught some shit for that My Hero Macadamia, but it was nothing compared to this. And it kind of proves that they're not they're not shy about putting forth controversial stuff. This was just the backlash and the blacklisting that they would have received from the SJW community was just too much for them economically to actually take a risk on.
No, it's not blacklisting from SJWs, because that's already been long established. They've been on the shit list of the SJW. It's the blacklist of the entire business.
Yeah, they couldn't weather that economically. Yeah, Dylan, I did say hi. That's okay. The Adventure Finders thing that they have is by Rod Espinoza. That looks kind of cool. Looks like a kind of high fantasy type thing. So that looks neat. They only have 4 books right now, it looks like. Yeah, they couldn't weather this.
Here's another thing. If they really, the only reason that they would care about being blacklisted by the industry is if they wanted to go to all the big awards ceremonies, like the Eisner Awards, and if they wanted to actually be in comic book stores, which isn't really necessary because the world's moving closer to the internet, and if they wanted to, be in all, and if they want all the artists, the big established artists like Frank Miller or anybody else you could think of that's been in the industry for years, that has worked at Marvel and DC and Dark Horse and all the rest. They wouldn't get access to those people if they got blacklisted like that. Someone like me and Lynchpin Comics won't give a shit. As long as we have good artists and we have good writers, it doesn't matter how big they are. As long as we are making good stuff. And we're going to be mostly on the internet. I don't give a shit about being in a comic book store. Because again, those brick and mortar type shops are on the way out. They're going the way of the dodo bird.
We actually have a comic book shop that almost completely survives on people's pull lists and has almost nothing on the shelves. They just don't carry stuff on the shelves. Like if you order it, we'll order it, but if not enough people are ordering it, we don't get it. Because they can't afford to keep that much stock on the shelves that's not going to sell.
Yeah, they got rent to pay. Where on the internet you just got to pay for the domain name.
I mean, this shop literally shares a storefront with the store that sells Chicago swag. They just split the rent with another owner. And it's a shop that's run entirely by women. And I went in and asked them about like the America comics and a few ones, and she's like, yeah, here's the thing that they see with Marvel comics. The first book sells really well, and then nobody buys the second one. Like, nobody puts it on their pull lists.
So you mean the America comics aren't selling like hotcakes? I'm shocked.
Oh, it's canceled thing. Okay, so the punching Hitler retcon thing was just so unbelievably ballsy. I cannot believe that Marvel let it happen.
What was this? Wait, what now? Who punched Hitler?
Oh, they had her punch Hitler instead of Captain America because she went back in time. That is such an iconic moment in Marvel history. I can't believe they let that go through. Yep. Are you okay?
There are no words.
Did that hurt you?
Yeah. And I'm not even a big comic book reader, and that hurt me.
Ooh. You know exactly what I'm talking about, too.
Yeah. Everybody.
Captain America fucking punching the shit out of Hitler.
Everybody knows about that moment. Even people who don't read that comics know about that shit. People know about the roots of Captain America.
Yeah. And the more I read through, and the more I looked at that panel, the more fucking shit I found wrong with it. I'm like, okay, first of all, in the Captain America comic, I mean, he's like in a boardroom, in a meeting, and they like infiltrated the fucking place, and he just like, in the middle of the meeting, just decks Hitler in the face. In this comic, he's in the middle of a battlefield. What the fuck is Hitler doing out in the open in the middle of a battlefield? Like, that alone doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, he's not
this chick does not know how to write a comic.
Yeah, he's not. When Hitler was never a fighting general, let alone he wasn't even a general. What the fuck is he doing anywhere close to military shit? He should be at home
I mean, he was a soldier at one point, but...
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, when he was in power, as we know it, no, he was he was not a fighting general.
He was well far away from the fucking battlefield until the battlefield came to him. But yes, I mean, like, Captain America infiltrated a bunker. He wouldn't have been out, and that bugged me so much, and I wasn't alone. Oh my god. Oh, also, she's a lesbian. Have you heard she's a lesbian? Because she's a lesbian, she'll remind you every other fucking panel.
You can almost smell the clam chowder coming off the pages.
That's gross. Ghost Dog totally believes it. I was just fucking dumbfounded when I read that. And basically all the comics are all the other characters saying how great America is. I don't mean the country. I mean the shitty character. Yeah, there's not a lot of words to describe. Like, it's not the worst comic, but it still belongs in the bin. No. Like, no, none of this is okay. She's the worst person, too. Just the more I look through... I did not buy it, by the way. I found a PDF. And I'm just going through the PDF. Like, the more I look, the more of a terrible person this character is. It's so sad, because I really liked her.
On the bright side, we are on our way out of this dark age of comics, because if you know anything about comics history, it tends to go in cycles. You got 10 years of really great comics, you got 10 years of very subpar or outright shitty comics. And we're in that part of the cycle now, or we're in the down period of the cycle. And when we get to the 20s, there's going to be a lot of great shit coming out. And we're already starting to see good shit come out. It's just on the onset. We're just on the onset of it. You know, we got Jawbreakers, we got Lynchpin Comics, a lot of other great indie stuff out there. It's just being discovered.
Yeah. Dylan, it's not that she's a lesbian, it's that she won't shut up about it. No problem with LGBT characters whatsoever. But when it's one of the main defining features of your character, it's really boring. Well, what about this character? Well, she's gay. And? Well, she's gay. Boring. The best ones are the ones that barely mention it.
Yeah, exactly. And you could make an interesting twist on the old damsel in distress thing with that sort of thing. There's a lot of potential for romantic subplots in there that are subplots that you could use in that way. But I mean, you gotta have something else going for it.
Because you know who one of my favorite couples in all of comics is? Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Fans don't often have good ideas. This was a good idea. Because their personalities just work really well together. And everybody thought they were sleeping together anyway, so it was kind of, sure, why not? Like, DC's like, yeah, okay, sure. They have comics with them together that are really enjoyable and really fucking funny. They're hilarious. They don't take themselves seriously at all. Because it's Harley. And you can't.
See, and with the coupling of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn would be a no-brainer anyway, because of their personalities. That would actually work.
Yeah, and I mean, they were best friends in the cartoon, so there's already a pretext for it. Now, granted, not all characters that were best friends need to be fucking. That's not
cough, cough, Bucky Barnes, Captain America.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that's a thing, right?
Yeah, that's a thing that people are trying to push.
Oh.
Because they don't know how male friendship works.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work at all, because Bucky and Cap have a very brothers in arms type relationship. Whereas, first of all, Poison Ivy hates the fuck out of men. So there's always the whole thing like, yeah, she's definitely a lesbian.
That's kind of the only way to go about it.
Poison Ivy is one of those characters that doesn't work if she's straight. It just doesn't work. Yeah, Dylan Tilbrook. I'm gay. By the way, I'm gay. Did I mention I was gay? How did I tell you I was gay? Hey, did I tell you I was gay? Annoying. Yes, annoying. Fucking annoying. Also, see, hey, did I mention I'm black? Yes, we can see your skin color. Thank you. No one cares. Please actually have good writing. That's actually even more fucking shallow. Like, I get, like, the whole representation thing. I get it. I do. But it's just skin color. So I guess I don't.
God damn it, Radio Freedom. He says, do Bucky and Cap give each other bro jobs? You
No!
fucking go. God damn.
No! Bucky and Cap do not give each other bro jobs. No.
Is that
fucking no.
Is that like stroking each other's
Shush.
ego?
Mr. Midnight, shut up! Oh, one of the ones that I've run across also is,
Buddy.
Shut up, Andre!
Buddy.
Luke Cage and Danny Rand. No. Stop. Cease.
So it's like Luke Cage making Danny Rand his bitch?
Hey.
Yes! I don't know!
Hey.
I didn't read any.
Nick Fury and Nick Fury.
Nick Fury and Nick Fury. No.
Wait, what?
Mr. Midnight said Nick Fury and Nick Fury. No. Well, Dylan, like in most iterations that she's written well, she's a man-hater. So, and in the ones where she's written poorly, they try to give her a romantic interest that's male, and it just doesn't work. Poison Ivy.
So if we see another film adaptation, would it be safe to say she'd be played by Sofia Vergara?
Yes. I wouldn't mind that.
Because, I mean, if you've seen Machete Kills, she plays that type of personality really fucking well.
Stop saying that word. It's Mr. Midnight. Stop it.
You should tell your fans.
No, I can't. Shush! I'm not telling them to look that up.
Maybe I should tell Thorne about that photo I found of Robin jerking off Nightwing.
Wait, there's only one? Are you kidding? That's like
I found a photo. I'm sure there's more, but I mean
you only found one picture of Robin.
I didn't even need the one. I just did it to show to a friend of mine who likes Nightwing.
And you only found one. Oh, buddy.
Like I said, I'm sure there's more. I don't want to see them.
What's another slash one that makes me go no?
Destiel.
Wolverine and Gambit. Fuck you again.
Wait, is this X-Men Origins Wolverine or the X-Men cartoon?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The Origins, okay. I can see why people would think that. Because Gambit looks like a twink in that movie.
Yes, he does. No, but this was actually way back in the original X-Men movie. Like, that started popping up.
But
even though he wasn't in any of them.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's not in there.
But he was in the cartoon, so people just, like, head-cannoned him into that universe. And then did that. A lot. Like, a lot. Oh, also Iceman.
Iceman and who?
Name a dude.
Oh, you're right. You're talking about the fucking Jean Grey retcon thing.
No, again, this is way before the retcon. There's a reason they did the retcon was because the fans were insisting that he was gay. This is why I keep saying that fans don't normally have good ideas. That's an example of a bad idea. A very fucking bad idea. Yeah, the Jean Grey mind rape was creepy as hell, by the way, if you really think about it. She basically changed somebody's sexuality. That's very rapey. How is that okay? If they reversed the genders on that, the feminists would be screaming.
Oh my God! They turned a lesbian straight. No.
Yeah, they turned the lesbian straight, or like fixed gender dysphoria in a trans person. Like, could you imagine the amount of screaming that would happen? Oh my God! This is erasure. This is literally the worst thing. Oh my God! This is on par with like Hitler. I know Iceman is not gay. They fixed it. They fixed it again. Ghost Dog. He's not gay because it doesn't make any damn sense. He's just really bad at relationships. Because they all fail. That was their justification, was that he's completely incompetent when it comes to dating women. Or the women either die or end up in orbit. Yes, we know you dated Kitty Pryde. Yes, we know she went to outer space. So he has just bad luck with women. I don't know why he couldn't just have bad luck with women. It had to be gay. And like, I guess it's like, oh yeah, no, you sabotage all your relationships. No, he's just really shitty with women. Just let that be a character trait. It's okay for him to be shitty with women. You can have a hero with a human trait.
Wait, so is Iceman an incel?
No, because he actually gets laid.
Fair point.
He just can't hold a relationship together. He can get a relationship, but he can't hold it together. Dylan, I'm hilarious when I talk like what?
Oh, probably the Valley Girl.
SJW voice?
Yeah, the SJW Valley Girl fusion thing.
Well, I use the Valley Girl because a lot of them are from Southern California. And whenever I see the on the street thing with the really stupid girls, that's always what they sound like.
Okay, so what's worse, SoCal or Chicago?
SoCal. Definitely.
At least SoCal still has guns.
Chicago has guns.
Not
you see
legal.
Our crime rate?
Not legal ones.
Yes, legal ones.
I thought there was like a full-on... You said one time there was a full-on gun ban over there.
Nope.
Okay, what guns can you get?
Currently, basically everything that you can get in the rest of the country, but you can only have one per household. That's the restriction.
Oh, I always heard it was an outright ban, like an unconstitutional ban in Chicago.
There was for a while, but A, it's unconstitutional, and B, it didn't help. Ghost dad joke, thank you. Iceman keeps giving them the cold shoulder. Lol. Yeah, so you can have Cook County also tried to pull some stuff too, and that didn't work. You had to get like a second license for a while to have a concealed carry in Chicago, and in addition to the federal one or the state one, and they overrode that too because that's not constitutional. So yeah, Chicago no longer has the most restrictive gun laws in the country. It's just normal Illinois law, except for the one gun per household, which is a Chicago-only thing.
I'm so glad I live in Iowa.
I mean, it just basically means you just can't stockpile, but they still let you protect yourself. So there's that.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy just one firearm, you might as well go straight for the AR. Because
if I'm gonna do home defense, I'm probably gonna use a handgun.
Yeah, as handguns are really more weapons of convenience. Any more powerful stuff is generally where you want to be. Or as far as
being able to pull it quickly is really convenient.
Yeah, again, though, they're not as effective as you would think for home defense.
If somebody kicks my door in, though, I don't want to be dicking around with an AR. I'm a little person. Maybe a shotgun.
So just send Mr. Midnight to do the thing with the gun.
Do the thing. Now I can do the thing, thank you. I can point a shotgun and pull the trigger. I can do that.
Yeah, even pump action shotguns are better than handguns. So I mean,
Something with a good spread because my aim probably sucks, especially if it's dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My neighborhood's had a couple of push-in type home invasions, so it's been on my mind lately. Yeah, that's fun. That was a fun thing to find out about. They're like, oh yeah, this is like they wait until you open the door a little bit and then they push their way in. Which there should be no one knocking on my apartment door. It's not open to the street. So I won't be opening shit. Thank you.
And your door does have peepholes, right?
I do not have peepholes.
Oh, your door. Okay,
It has buzzers though.
Yeah, my door doesn't have a peephole either. Oh yeah. It
Oh,
does.
peephole. I thought you meant people, as in like a doorman.
No.
No, yeah, I have a peephole.
I said it very shittily. So that's.
Yeah, there's a peephole in there. They have to have one legally. It's an apartment building. It's unsafe not to have one.
Oh, right. True.
Yeah, I think that's a state ordinance. Probably a city ordinance too. You have to. It's a safety feature. You have to have one on the back doors of businesses here too.
That actually makes sense, because you don't want to be going out here with a big bag of cash with the blue paint exploding thing, and then end up getting your shit ripped off.
Pretty much. Don't jump scare midnight or you'll die. Okay, so to finish this off, I would like to voice my hatred for jump scare movies. And by that I mean the movies that basically use baby's first attempt at scaring people, and it's just all jump scares throughout the entire movies, and none of them are done correctly. I fucking hate that shit.
Scare.
Oh yes, that is an example of a jump scare done right. Also, I hate the ones that overuse the false jump scare. If you know that, the Pop-Tart's an example of the false jump scare.
Yeah.
It's a Pop-Tart. It's not actually anything scary.
I found that jump scare to actually be fucking hilarious.
Another good example is the first Friday the 13th, the sheriff, when they play that they have that like really tense atmosphere and everything, but there's no music behind that scene, and it's really important that there's no music behind the false jump scare. So it still builds the tension. And then you get the fake jump scare where the sheriff grabs the guy's shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little release of tension before the actual jump scare.
Yeah, and now there's
swelling music.
And now there's music with every jump scare, and every jump scare looks like every other jump scare, and it doesn't work.
I guess we jump scared the stream offline.
How do you mean?
Hopefully it comes back. It's continuing. It stopped for a little bit. Oh well. Yeah. That's Friday the 13th did it right. This is a perfect example of good jump scare. There's a reason it's a good movie. But the ones that do it cheaply are games that are completely based off of jump scares.
And sadly, as great as Layers of Fear was, there was a lot of jump scares in that game.
There was, and I'm not entirely sure that they were good. Some were good. It was okay. I watched a few people play it. I'm just like, this is okay. This is an okay horror game. It's good because like horror games are really easy to fuck up.
Yeah, it's a very trippy horror game. That's for damn sure. It's psychedelic horror game. You don't see a lot of those these days.
Layers of Fear wasn't relying on its jump scares though. Whereas Five Nights at Freddy's is jump scares. And also it stops being scary after about the third one. Nothing's tense anymore because you're expecting it. The keys to jump scares are don't overuse them, and you have to do them correctly, and you have to do the fake one correctly too. Because there's always got to be a fake one. It's important to have that kind of build, a slight pressure release before the big scares.
Another thing you could do is not have any jump scares. You look at a lot of the a lot of the Silent Hill games. They don't really have any jump scares at all.
Silent Hill has a couple.
A couple, but again, it's very, very rare to find one. It depends on which game too, because some games are better than others in that series.
That's a good example. Don't overuse them. I'm trying to think of. There's literally a game that is only jump scares. I think it's like a haunted house type game. But I think the creepy I can't remember the name of it. Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. But the real tense thing is that there's something chasing you through the entire thing.
There was a game,
and it's a labyrinth.
Oh joy! There was a game that was based off the Silent Hills PT thing called Precipice. It's a French game, and it's basically a haunted house simulator. And
I was gonna ask which one.
Yeah, it's Precipice. It's a French game that's it's based like PT. It's a haunted house simulator. There's no risk of actually dying. You just experience shit, and you get jump scares every now and again. It's really,
like PT.
Yeah.
PT, the demo that launched 1,000 games.
Yeah.
Somebody that actually just made PT into a full-length game, or is making PT into a full-length game.
Yeah.
That's a good one. There's a couple of good PT-based games. I take Mindfucks over Shock and Awe any day. Yeah, I prefer Mindfuck over Shock in mine too. I also don't really like gore, so the trailer we watched earlier, I kind of briefly mentioned that exploitation films are not my bag. No, I'm not a Hills Have Eyes fan.
So you
I'm not a Sallow fan, and I would like to tell the person that told me to watch that to go fuck themselves.
So you weren't a fan of you were not a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street Blood Geyser?
You know what? That was almost funny. That was clever. I appreciate clever. Yeah, Wikipedia, Al Gore is boring. I'm not sure what brought up Al Gore.
Wordplay puns.
Got it. I missed that. It's late. What else? I was told several times to watch Green Inferno by some people, which, by the way, not a horror film. This is just an exploitation film. Not all horror films are exploitation. Not all exploitation films are horror. That one's done in documentary style, so really, it's not a horror film.
Yeah, if you want to see the inevitable conclusion of social justice, watch Green Inferno.
Yes. Or its predecessor. The name I can't remember the name of it though, but it's basically the Italian Amazon cannibal movie genre.
Cannibal Holocaust?
That's it.
I've heard a lot of
the one where the director got arrested.
Oh wow, that's hardcore.
Yeah, they thought he killed his actors.
Oh, gee.
Because he had in their contract, he actually told them to disappear for a while. So nobody could actually contact and knew these people that supposedly disappeared. He had to go find them.
Didn't they actually?
He still got charged with something.
Yeah, didn't they kill a monkey in that film?
Yeah, that's what he got charged with. He got charged with animal cruelty.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. They also ate a turtle. But yeah, I've seen stills from that movie and just like, oh yeah, this is fucked up for the sake of being fucked up. Salo is just like, how uncomfortable can we make you? Apparently that's an art film. I don't know. I got about a quarter of the way through it and I couldn't watch much more.
So it was a piece of art, like Lolita was a piece of art, quote unquote.
It was supposed to be about the opulence of Western society and whatnot. Which is why everything looks vaguely like ancient Rome. Not sure what eating your own shit has to do with that, but yay.
Yay.
So that one, I guess, was less gross for the sake of being gross and more gross for the sake of trying to make a point, but still.
Yay.
Also not a horror film.
Yay, stomach parasites.
Right. Yay, cutting off someone's tongue. Nope. Nope. Don't want to think about it. I couldn't. If you can get through Salo, you have a stronger stomach than me. I think we can wrap it up. And also, don't watch a Serbian film if you have a weak stomach. I've been told it's worse than Salo.
I think that burp that almost turned into throw up was probably the best review you could give for Salo.
I can't give Salo a review. I only made a quarter of the way through, and I don't want to watch the rest of it. So I'm just gonna say, if you like edgy art films and have a strong stomach, go for it. If not, don't. Yeah, Knock Knock is terrible too. So is Old Boy. These are all terrible. Like, I mean, not that they're bad movies, just that they're bloody, gory, and disgusting. The one I've seen that's pretty terrible, but not completely terrible, and I recommend, is Raw. It's about a vegan that becomes a cannibal. Doesn't pull any punches, but it's definitely not just disgusting for the sake of being disgusting.
If you can't convert them, eat them.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you're a vegan and you want to eat meat, there's really only one option now, isn't there? It makes a weird, fucked up kind of sense. Bye, Dylan. We're gonna be ending soon anyway. Have a good time at your appointment. Well, guys, tell me on Twitter what you guys thought of the trailers and whatnot. You're gonna go see it? You're gonna pass, etc. Let me check Streamlabs because I completely forgot about it again. I'm a terrible person. No. Okay. So yeah, do you want to show anything, Race, again, before we go?
There was one other comic book idea that one of my writers are working on that I want to share, which is probably one of the more interesting ones, actually. I just gotta go dig it up real quick.
I would love to write a comic. I have lots of ideas.
Well, we could always use more writers.
I can try.
But yeah, there's this one. Ian McDonald is writing something in the vein of a science fiction, actually, and the protagonist species, I guess you could call it, are a bunch of reptilians who come across the transhumanist human species, and yeah, the whole thing is basically a critique of transhumanism, which is pretty interesting, and that's really the true spirit of science fiction, is to look at where science is going and show us where it could go wrong.
Wow, yeah, it is. At the end of the day, science fiction is cautionary tales, isn't it?
Indeed.
Or just really cool. But that sounds super, super interesting. I look forward to probably reading that.
There was a description that he put in one of the Discords that I'm in, but I'm having trouble finding it. Which kind of blows. No problem. Which kind of blows because it was a very, very good description. A lot better.
Tweet it at me later.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was wanting to say it on the stream as a sort of a pitch, but yeah, it's gonna take forever to fucking dig through this shit.
Well, you know what? I will retweet it if you tweet it at me.
Okay. That
All right.
Good.
All right. Good night, folks. It's been a slice. This is actually a really good stream. So,
Indeed.
Yeah. End it.
All right. Oh,
Kill it now.
Oh yeah. Press S to spit on Mark Waid's grave.
Yes. Or the grave of his career. Good night.
Good night.